Hey everyone, welcome to Wax Pack Wisdom. I'm Jake T. O'Donnell. Today is Friday the 21st, and I made the decision during the week to come to the White Plains March Madness show. And I just walked out, and I'm going to show you some show footage. You'll see kind of the tables and the setup inside. I only ended up buying one card today and some wax, but the card that I bought is maybe the most excited and happy I've been about any card I've ever bought in my life. So I'm gonna head home. It's gonna be a bit of a long drive home, but when I get home, I'm gonna show you guys that card and tell you the story about how I ended up with it. And check out the show footage, and we'll see you on the other side.
So I was gonna say earlier you said, "Oh, I like your idea with the 53." Would you be like, "What?" You said, "What?"
You have good ideas. Thoughts and plans. Yeah, gosh, she gets like 85% of a project done. We get home, and then I trip over stuff, and I run into stuff with my knees, and then I'm in the middle of the night to myself.
Sorry, Sass, before
Can I see the Cracker Jack week?
I'm going to start and I told them to bring it here because I knew that they'd be here, but I just didn't remember to do that.
Yeah.
And so anyway. Yeah, I'm
Little vegetable, 39.
The first ever upper deck one from SBU. This guy offered me she's like, yeah. We also buy you Marvel. I love
You took everything out of the show. What happens when you forgot to fill it back up? Fill it up.
They're on the way. That's me.
Well, there's a card you don't see every day. Okay, I'm back. It has been a very long day. I did a really crazy thing. I drove to White Plains this morning for the show, just for today, for Friday, just the way that the schedule kind of ended up working this week and this weekend, that today was really kind of the only day I could go. It worked in my schedule, Friday today to go, so I drove there this morning. I was at the show for like 2 to 3 hours, and then I drove back, and I got back right around 8 o'clock tonight on Friday. Whirlwind but completely 100% worth it. As I kind of intimated at the beginning of the video, I bought a dream card today. If you watch this channel, you've heard me say that there is like basically one card that I could reasonably afford that I want more than any other card, pretty much. And today I bought that card. And here it is. A 1915 Cracker Jack Smoky Joe Wood. This one in a PSA 1. The legendary Red Sox pitcher who became an Indians outfielder in the second act in his career. Look at that card. Show you the back. Of course, the backs are upside down on the 15 Cracker Jacks. You could get these. You could send away for a factory set of these cards, or they came in the, I believe they came in the boxes of candy, of Cracker Jacks. I bought this card from Stan Locke. Stan the man. Here's Stan. Stan's card. Here's Stan's info on the back, in case you're wondering. Stan is one of the premier vintage dealers in the United States of America. He shows up at all these big shows. He'll be at Strongsville next month in April. I will not be at Strongsville, but Stan will be there. So I'm going to hold this card up, and I'm going to tell you the story about how this came together, how I got this was the only actual card I bought today. This was the only, 7 hours in the car, and like I said, completely worth it. I bought a couple other things that I'll show at the end, but this was the only card I bought today. Last weekend, there was a big card show in Chicago, and Stan was there. And he posted on Instagram that he was going to be there, and he showed a picture at his table of Cracker Jack cards. And I noticed that he had this card on his table. Now, I asked Stan at both last year's Shriners in November and the January White Plains show if he had this card, because he always has a pretty decent inventory of Cracker Jack cards, more than most vintage dealers do, more than most dealers in general do. He said he didn't, but at the last White Plains show in January, he told me that he was expecting to get more and that he should have one at some point this year. Well, lo and behold, over the weekend, he posted a picture of his table, and I saw this card. Well, again, I've been looking for an at least decently affordable version of this card since I really got back into collecting. And to be totally honest, this is a card, because I've had such a deep affinity for the Cracker Jack set since I was a little kid. And to have a Red Sox legend from that set of this card, to a guy like Smoky Joe, was always a dream. So I've always been hoping that one of these would pop up that I could afford that looked like this. So I emailed Stan and I asked him, because what I couldn't make out in the picture was what year this card was from and what the grade was. Because if it's a 1914, and again, most people probably know this, but the 1914, 1915 Cracker Jacks are effectively the same design with a few exceptions. There's a few more cards in the 15 set, but the 14s are much rarer, they're much harder to come by, and they usually are in much worse condition. And usually they're a lot more expensive. I have one 1914 Cracker Jack card, and it's a few Jennings that I bought from Ash on Facebook in the Cracker Jack group last year and got it graded. So Stan didn't get back to me on email. I think I talked to him about it today, but it got caught in his spam filter. He never saw it. So I decided I was going to go to White Plains today anyway. Either Stan was going to have this card, I was going to buy it, and that was probably going to be the one card I bought today, or he didn't have it, and maybe I'd buy something else from him. I'd buy other stuff. I'd shoot footage and do a video and have a good time anyway. Like I said, it was worked in my schedule to go today. So I get there, 3-hour drive, get there. I make a beeline right for Stan's table, and he's got this card. He's still got it. It's still there. So he is able to come down a little bit on the price, but the prices for this was more than the amount of cash that I had budgeted for the show. However, I had brought a bunch of cards to potentially sell or trade. And it goes back to that thing that I've been talking about in some other videos I've done recently, where I'm willing now to move on from sort of cards that are much more easier to replace if a card that is going to be nearly impossible to replace that I really want comes up, that I want to move those cards and get a card like this. And I should have mentioned this off the top, but the pop count on this particular card is about 120. There's, I think, between SGC, PSA, maybe Beckett's in there too, there's about 120. I showed Stan what I had, and he, very politely just said, it's great stuff, but it's not really what I'm looking for. What I'm talking about is like 50s and 60s Hall of Fame rookies. I'll get into this maybe close to the end. I've effectively blown up my Hall of Fame rookie PC to buy rarer pre-war cards, or whatever, and I'm completely okay with it. Maybe we'll talk about that more at the end. There were a few pre-war cards, my 33 Gaudy Melot, and a couple of T206s, including the Triss Speaker Polar Bear card. And he was like, I'm okay with, it's like, this is good stuff, but doesn't really fit what I'm trying to like buy at the moment. He says, so I thought to myself, what did I want to do? And I thought, well, I could go to the ATM and get more money, because again, I was pretty determined one way or another that unless somebody else came right up and bought it, that I was going to walk out of the show with this 100%. I thought about it and I was like, well, I could go and take more money out, or I could Venmo him or whatever. And I thought to myself, no, like I brought these other cards here, like I will get money for them and use it to buy this card. So I gave the card back to Stan and I said, hopefully I'll be back soon with the cash so that I can buy this card. I went right from there to Brian's table. So Brian B. Roth 6, I'll link to his channel below. I met Brian in person for the first time at the White Plains show back in January. And I went right over to his table and I said, look, I have an opportunity to buy a big card from Stan, but he wasn't really interested in a trade, and I'm looking for some cash. Like, are you looking to buy today? So Brian and I worked out a deal in which I sold him my Alkaline rookie, the SGC 4, my SGC 3 Brooks Robinson rookie, my 33 Gaudy Mel Ott in an SGC 1, my T206 Speaker Polar Bear back in a SGC 1, and a Raleigh Fingers rookie card in an SGC 5. And it was kind of a partial cash and Venmo deal, but it was a really good deal for both of us. Really hard for me to give those cards up because they're beautiful cards. They're cards that I've loved, that most of them I've displayed, but they were all cards I was comfortable with moving, in the idea that hopefully at some point I'll be able to get some of those cards back, or other versions of them, to get back in my PC when the time is right, when the money's right. But I was able to use that money, and I marched right back over to Stan's table right after that, and I forked over the money, and I got this card at a very good price, I thought. So, Smoky Joe, the hero. Look up his 1912 season. He was as good as any of the great pitchers of his era for that period of time. Called Smoky Joe because he threw so hard. Shout out to Doug, Joe Wood Collector. Go check out his channel and his extensive collection. He has this card. He's got the 1914. He has every so much Joe Wood stuff from Doug. Go check out his channel. He talks about him quite a bit. But really, I'm just floored. I'm floored that this worked out. You notice here that this has a 1 at the beginning of the cert. So this is recently graded. I'd have to check with Stan. And there was a lot going on, and I was so like on cloud 9 and like kind of nervous and stuff, like getting the bills out and stuff like that when I was buying this card. I think that Stan had recently come into a bunch of raw Cracker Jack cards, and if you go to White Plains the rest of this weekend, or you go to Strongsville in a few weeks, he'll probably have a lot of those, and you probably saw it in the show footage that I showed at the top, because there was some stuff from his table. If you saw all the sort of the table with all the Cracker Jacks and a bunch of other pre-war stuff, that was Stan. So I think that he had recently sent a lot of the stuff to BSA, and I think he had indicated to me that he was hoping that this card was going to get a higher grade. But I am floored that I have this card. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I just can't. I can't believe that I own a Cracker Jack Smoky Joe Wood. This is the most brilliant card. Look at this thing. What? And I bought it from selling stuff off. So like I said, I've effectively blown up my Hall of Fame rookie PC, and I'm probably going to move more. I moved other stuff earlier this week. I sold it on Facebook. There's going to be probably more stuff that I'm going to sell over the course of the next couple of weeks. I'm kind of okay with keeping all the stuff from 1970 to present, but basically all the stuff, with a few exceptions, from 1955. Like I'm going to keep my Clemente, my Colfax, my Yaz. I'll probably upgrade my Yaz at some point. I was okay with giving up the T206 speaker. A beautiful card. I loved it. I felt like maybe the eye appeal didn't really fit the rest of my T206 cards, and I was okay with that. And I'm so glad that those cards went to Brian, because it was just a great deal for both of those. Again, shout out to Brian, amazing guy. Spent a bunch of time talking to him today. Like, it was great stuff. So you saw in the show footage, you saw some of the stuff from the really crazy cards were from some of the auction houses. I don't know that I ever seen a T206 Eddie Plank card in person, but it was there today. Amazing, a bunch of amazing Honus Wagner stuff, a bunch of amazing Ruth stuff. Like the auction houses were on fire today, just like crazy, so much cool stuff. And then I got the chance to chat with Howard Chasser for a little bit as well today. Just good to see the vendors and stuff there. The show wasn't that busy like when I was there. The way, like, how busy it was the Saturday that I went in January, and hopefully it'll be as busy as that tomorrow. But it wasn't that crazy today, even after 3:00 after the price to get in went down. Hopefully it ends up being a busy weekend. I just bought some wax also from a dealer who was basically set up right near Stan. I got a nice 81 Fleer baseball pack, so we'll open that, and then I got a bunch of packs. I've never opened these before. The Sportflix Magic Motion baseball cards. The guy was selling 4 for $5, so I bought 4. And then as I was walking sort of out the door, he flagged me down. He's like, "Here, just take another one." So I got 5. I got these for $1 a piece. So I'll probably open all of these on one video. And then I don't think I've opened an 81 Fleer pack in a little while. So we'll open that one up at some point too. But here we go. Smoky Joe. I can't believe it. I will cherish this card forever. I'm probably, this is going to sound kind of crazy, I think I'm probably just going to keep this in the PSA slab, because I do actually think that the Cracker Jacks look pretty good in the PSA slabs. In the SGC slabs, they look good, but I don't think it's going to be worth it to me to either to crack this out or cross it over. I think I'm probably just going to keep it in this. Why not? Might look a little out of place with the rest of the SGC pre-war slabs, but meh. So that's it. So thrilled with that. Let me know what you think. Hopefully you enjoyed the show footage. And next week there will be more stuff. There's a show in Quincy, Mass next weekend. Probably go to that. And I'm not going to go to Strongsville, unfortunately, but I will be at probably one day of Shriners that weekend. And I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed showing this, and I can't show it enough. I own a Smoky Joe Wood Cracker Jack card. Ah! Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to Wax Back Wisdom if you haven't previously. Please like this video. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Check out our ComC store. Check out where to follow us on all social media channels. And also, please check out our list of favorite nonprofits and charities. It would mean a lot to us if you could consider supporting one of them. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Wax Back Wisdom. Take care.